Good evening, Finance and Governance Committee Chair and committee members, and Mayor and City Council members. I'm Steve Howlett, Assistant Director of Public Works, and this item is regarding the proposed formation of the City of Oxnard Community Facilities District Number 9 and approval of deposit and reimbursement agreement and special tax disbursement agreement. Recommendation: that the Finance and Governance Committee recommend the City Council adopts the following resolutions, and the City Council adopts the following resolutions. 1, a resolution approving a deposit and reimbursement agreement and special tax distribution agreement related to the proposed City of Oxnard Community Facilities District Number 9, also known as North Shore at Mandalay Bay, and a resolution of intent to establish the City of Oxnard Community Facilities District Number 9. And 3, a resolution of intent to incur bonded indebtedness in the amount not to exceed $22 million within the proposed City of Oxnard Community Facilities District Number 9. Background: community facilities districts are established pursuant to the provisions provided in the California Government Code, and these are commonly known as Melrose. A CFD raises money through special taxes that must be approved by 2/3 of the voters within the CFD, and the City Council is the legislative body for any CFD that the city forms. Most often, CFDs are formed by the landowner prior to the subdivision being developed. CFDs can be formed to finance a wide list of improvements, which include roads, water facilities, sewer, and schools. They are also used to finance ongoing maintenance of facilities or services such as landscaping, street paving, lighting, and drainage facilities. The taxes are secured by a continual lien that are levied against the properties within the CFD on an annual basis. The North Shore CFD. The city established the 2006 CFD, formerly the North Shore at Mandalay Bay, in 2006 for an earlier proposed development located on the northeastern corner of 5th Street and Harbor Boulevard. There were 2 special tax components, A and B, of this CFD. Special tax A, currently at $5,581,000, just north of that, is the special tax which could be levied each year to fund the annual facilities special tax component, and it can be levied until fiscal year 2045 and 46. Special tax B, currently at $1,897,000, just a little more than that, can be levied in perpetuity in order to satisfy the services of the special tax requirement. The city, however, has not yet issued any bonds for 2006 CFD, but the city is authorized to incur bonded indebtedness at a maximum principal amount not to exceed $30 million. The city has never levied special tax A, as no bonds were ever sold, and has not levied special tax B on parcels within the 2006 CFD since fiscal year 2014-15. Currently, no services are being performed within that CFD, but it does have a balance of a little over $500,000 of collected special taxes. The owner and developer, MPL Property Holdings, has a current development plan for a 292 single-family residences within the 90-acre development and is requesting either a replacement or modification of the 2006 CFD. Their request is to include a facility special tax for the life of any bond issues, service special tax lien in perpetuity, and environmental special tax for remediation, operation, and maintenance of activities as required by the Department of Toxic Substances Control, also known as DTSC. However, staff recommends that we form a new CFD, which would be CFD number 9, rather than amending the former CFD. This allows the city to prioritize the facilities and fees to be financed, while also making sure the effective tax rate for the residents remains under 2%. The new CFD will have a not to exceed bond authorization of $22 million And once the new CFD number 9 is formed, the 2006 CFD, which was the older one, will be dissolved. CFD number 9 is proposed to be established for the purposes of funding the following. A, the public infrastructure facilities and other governmental facilities, including fees related to the estimated useful life of 5 years or longer, including but not limited to all or a portion of the sanitary sewer, the water, the streets, the storm drains, and park facilities, public art, or other real tangible property, and related costs thereto. Part B is services including but not limited to the ongoing maintenance for landscaping, street lighting, maintenance of the sewer system, storm drains, irrigation system, beaches, beach patrol, and weed abatement. These are all known as general services and are part of the annual special tax that is levied in perpetuity. And number C, remediation of any hazardous substances released or threatened to be released into the environment on the property as a result of the development as described in the response plan approved by the DTSC on December 17th, 2018, as well as the operations and maintenance plan approved by the DTSC on March 7th, 2019, and any additional remedial activities or protective measures through the levy of a special tax on an annual basis, as long as it is determined by the DTSC. All parties have reviewed the parameters of the special tax formula and the rate and method for apportionment, also known as the RMA. Special taxes will be levied each year according to the RMA and placed on the county property tax rolls. The first resolution approves the form of a deposit and reimbursement agreement with the landowner. The landowner has made a deposit of $60,000 with the city towards the cost of forming this CFD number 9. So further discussion, the special taxes for facilities. This tax is used to pay debt services on bonds for facilities and pay-as-you-go basis or a combination thereof. The city anticipates that the CFD will issue one or more series of special tax bonds with a 30-year maturity and escalating debt service of 2% per year to acquire the facilities built by the landowner and pay to reimburse the landowner for the payment of certain impact fees. The RMA includes an assigned tax and backup tax for developed property in case the number of residential units built is less than estimated. Once developed property is taxed, any undeveloped and contingent property will be taxed if needed. Special taxes for services. This will be levied on an annual basis in perpetuity to finance the general services. Once developed property is taxed at the maximum rate, any undeveloped or contingent property will be taxed if needed. This tax escalates at the greater of 2% or a CPI escalation factor not to exceed 5%. This will be commencing on July 1st, 2023. Special tax for services takes the place of a traditional maintenance assessment district. Special taxes environmental will be collected by the CFD and turned over to the newly formed nonprofit, which is the North Shore Environmental Conservancy, NEC, to pay for the annual remediation services approved by the DTSC. The RMA includes the assigned tax and backup tax for developed property, and this is in case the number of residential units built is less than estimated. Once the developed property is taxed at the maximum rate, any undeveloped and contingent property will be taxed if needed. This tax, once again, will escalate at the greater of 2% or a CPI escalation factor, but will not exceed 5% and will also commence on July 1st, 2023. This will continue until the issuance of a certificate of completion by the DTSC, and once that happens, this tax will no longer need to be levied. The process. City Council approval process will take approximately 60 to 75 days. And we have 5 steps, I believe, 5 or 6 steps. Step number 1, Finance and Governance Committee, which is the first meeting, which will occur on July 27th, 2021, will recommend the 3 recommendations to the City Council. Step 2, on September 7th, 2021, the City Council may choose to adopt the resolutions approving the deposit reimbursement agreement and the special tax disbursement agreement. On that day, the City Council will also have the opportunity to adopt the resolution of intention to form the CFD and a resolution of intent to incur debt. Once the city declares its intentions to establish the CFD number 9, a public hearing will be scheduled for October 5th, 2021. You'll see in the attachment documents of the resolutions that this date is actually listed as September 21st. So once this moves forward, that will be changed to those resolutions moving forward to public hearing on October 5th, 2021. And I will go over that now. With step 4, City Council holding a public hearing on October 5th, 2021, provided there is no majority protest, CFD number 9 will be established. And once again, once that is established, the 2006 CFD will be eliminated. Steps 5 and 6, the City Council, acting as a legislative body for the CFD, conducts a special mail ballot election and adopts an ordinance levying the special tax. However, the landowner has waived the election timeliness, so an election may be held on October 5th to authorize the levy of an annual special tax on such property. Should the proposition pass by a 2/3 vote from the qualified voters, who in this case is the landowner, the city may hold the first reading of the ordinance on October 5th, 2021, with the adoption of the ordinance on October 19th, 2021, along with the resolution transferring assets from the former CFD to 2006 CFD to the new CFD number 9 and approving the dissolution. Future consideration. At a later date, the CFD, in its sole discretion, will determine the final amount of the bonds issued. The proposed maximum bond authorization is $22 million. The not to exceed bond amount for the CFD is based on the facilities cost and available special tax for the facilities. If the action is approved, the formation of the replacement CFD, special election, and approval of the other related documents will occur on October 5th. Currently, it is not expected that the bonds will be authorized for issuance or sale until the development is well underway and the facilities are at or near completion, at which time documents relating to the issuance and sale of the bonds will be brought to the City Council for its approval. Financial impact: there is no direct impact on approving these resolutions, and there is no financial impact to the general fund. So in conclusion, here's a map of the districts throughout the city of Oxnard. You'll see on the left-hand side towards the top in purple, the number 6, that is the former 2006 CFD, which, if this is approved, will become CFD number 9. So that concludes this presentation. We have representatives from the developer, MPL Property Holdings, available, as well as the city's council, Marianne Goodkind with Norton Rose Fulbright, and Sarah Maris, director from MBS, as well as staff available for any questions. Thank you.